Executive branch, legislative branch, judiciary branch. Oversimplified, and I mean really oversimplified, the executive branch of the United States government enforce laws. They carry out laws passed by Congress, which is the legislative branch. The legislative branch makes laws, declares war, and regulates commerce. Again, this is oversimplified. The judicial branch reviews and interprets laws to determine if they are constitutional. So, for this conversation, we're going to focus on a few things, and that is the legislative branch, Congress, makes laws. The executive branch enforces those laws, and the judicial branch, the courts, interprets the laws and determines if they are constitutional. Okay. Now, obviously, they do more than that, but for this conversation, we are going with the simplified, oversimplified version. Okay. Now, power is divided up between the three branches, because why? Yes, for checks and balances, right? The 13 colonies did not want a repeat of one of the reasons why they left England. They did not want a king who had absolute power. Checks and balances is a system that prevents any one branch of government from having too much power. It's a fundamental principle of constitutional governments, which is what the United States is, a constitutional government. At the beginning of the month, your Vice President, Vance, and non-citizen, but somehow has more access to government records than he really should, Elon Musk, questioned the authority of courts to legally push back on Trump's agenda. You know, several of his executive orders have been taken to court, and judges have established injunctions on several of his orders, or just come out and said, I'm sorry, no, are you insane? This is unconstitutional, right? Since signing a flurry of executive orders, 2 judges have placed an injunction on the birthright citizenship limitation, Musk's access to Treasury Department records, Trump paying federal employees to quit, and Trump shutting off federal funding, as well as some aspects of shutting down DEI for federal contractors. Many of these actions were deemed unconstitutional by courts. They were just doing their jobs because, again, judiciary branch reviews and interprets the law and determines if what? They are constitutional, right? Vance and Musk, though, weren't just questioning the court's reaction to Trump's agenda, but the court's role regarding the executive agenda. If a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general in how to use their discretion as a prosecutor, that is also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. Vance wrote on X, it was earlier in the month, okay? So he's wrong. He's wrong. If any of the actions taken by a general in a military operation is unconstitutional, the courts have the right to say so. If any of the actions taken by an attorney general is unconstitutional, the courts have a right to say so. Okay. Now, Vance's post had come hours after Musk said that the judge ruled against him should be impeached. Right now, The courts are the only thing keeping Trump from totally dismantling the federal government and your rights. The Republican Congress is sitting around with their thumbs up their asses. In fact, Ohio Representative Jim Jordan blasted the court ruling for the Treasury Department case while arguing that the president should be able to implement his agenda as he sees fit, even if it is dismantling the federal government and usurping some of the roles from Congress, which is what he's doing. But you knew this would happen, right? When you voted for Trump because of his economic plan, totally ignoring Project 2025 and Agenda 47, which outlined a fascist dystopian nightmare. You knew that this would happen, right? Because all that mattered to you was the economy, which he messed up the first time he was in office. So what made you think that he was going to fix it this time? Meanwhile, Trump is cutting funding to those who need it. And economists, people who know what they're doing, call Trump's economic plan inflationary. But what do they know? And I digress. Checks and balances were put in place to keep a former game show host from destroying democracy. But for that to work, y'all got to get mad. And you're not mad enough yet. And I'm afraid by the time you are mad enough, there will be nothing left of democracy. There will be nothing left of the federal government, and there will be nothing left of the life as you know it. But don't say we didn't warn you. Hell, don't say they didn't warn you. You just didn't believe it.